Few traditions in America have as rich and meaningful a history as Thanksgiving Day.
All right.
Yeah, that was the best. And here you go, Ron.
A day where Americans get together, spending time with those special to them. For the past 70 years, professional football has been a part of this great tradition. And those games have produced many indelible moments that resonate through the generations. In 1956, Thanksgiving football was first brought into our homes as Americans watched the Packers beat the Lions. 10 years later, the Cowboys played their first Thanksgiving game, beating the Browns in the Cotton Bowl. In 1974, with star quarterback Roger Staubach injured, an unknown named Longley took center stage.
And here's Longley. He's going for all the marbles from Harrison. He's over. Touchdown!
Great games with improbable finishes, as in 1993.
And it's blocked! Oh, Leon Lett! Leon Lett! Oh, my goodness gracious.
Today, this great American tradition continues as the Dallas Cowboys, led by the incomparable Emmitt Smith, take on the Denver Broncos in the next chapter of Thanksgiving NFL football. That's the way it should be, and that's the way it is. The Texas tradition continues, coming your way right now. The Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys. And for the 34th time, the Dallas Cowboys host NFL action on Thanksgiving Day. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dallas. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours from all of us here at CBS. I'm Greg Gumbel. Along with Phil Simms, we're watching a couple of quarterbacks today. One of them, Ryan Leaf, has not been able to click and stops in San Diego and Tampa. He's hoping to make the most of his chance here in Dallas.
Greg, Ryan Leaf has had troubles on and off the field in the past. But yesterday we had a chance to talk to head coach Dave Campo. He said Ryan Leaf has been a model citizen here in Dallas so far. The one problem he is having, he's been an erratic thrower. He's had receivers open down the field. He's overthrown. And if you want to have success at quarterback in the National Football League, you've got to be accurate throwing it.
On the other side of the field for the Denver Broncos, if they are to make a charge between now and the end of this season toward the playoffs, that man, Brian Griese, is going to have to lead the way.
Brian Griese is going to have to do it. Last week, he was 11 for 31 against the Washington Redskins. The offensive line has struggled. It is hurt. He knows coming out here today on short rest, he goes, I'm excited. I'm just going to go out, react to what I see today, and hope to have a good game.
Our man who mans the sidelines is Armin Katayan. We check in with him now. Happy Thanksgiving, Armin.
Same to you, Greg. You know, Mike Shanahan told us last night he's never experienced a season quite like this one that began with such high expectations and talk of the Super Bowl that's been reduced because of injury and other reasons to something both terribly frustrating and inconsistent. Well, on that theme, there's one consistency today, as Bill Romanowski told me just moments ago. The Broncos season is on the line today, which is one reason that Rod Smith and his damaged ankle will play. As he told me just moments ago, very simply, I have to. Greg, both you and Phil, happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Armin. Thanksgiving football is on tap here at Texas Stadium in Dallas. We'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this. Back at Texas Stadium, the 5-5 Broncos, the 2-7 Dallas Cowboys. We are set to get underway. The Broncos have won the toss. They have elected to receive. That is Micah Knorr to kick it away. And deep is number 84, Chris Cole. And the throwback uniforms today means the return of the Orange Crush, at least for one day.
Forgot how orange it was. It is very bright.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We are underway at Texas Stadium. Chris Cole, 3 yards deep in the end zone. To the 10, 15, just across the 20, bulls his way forward to about the 25 or 26-yard line. Here is quarterback Brian Griese. 18 touchdowns on the season. That's third most in the NFL. He has also thrown 12 interceptions and comes off the lowest percentage game of his career last week. He completed just 35.5% of his passes in the loss to Washington.
You know, something interesting he told us last night, Greg. He says, I've just learned what we're doing on offense this week. I'm not so concerned with the defense. I'll just react to what I see out here today.
Olandis Gary is in the backfield, and he gets the handoff, tries the left side, and gets very little.
The Denver offensive line, they have struggled this year with injuries, and it's really hurt the Denver running game.
Olandis Gary getting the start. Mike Shanahan wants to shake things up in the running game. Tony Carter with him. Rod Smith starts at wide receiver despite a very bad ankle, which is sprained. Keith Poole, the other wide out, and Dwayne Carswell at the tight end. Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, may have to be very, very innovative today. The pitch for Gary. Out across the 30 to about the 31-yard line. And a look at the Dallas front four. Pepe Zellner, Brandon Noble, Michael Myers, and Greg Ellis.
Well, you look at the Cowboy linebackers, number 52, Dexter Coakley. He's the guy to watch. He does it all, can cover receivers down the field.
In the secondary, at the corners, DeJuan Hawthorne and Mario Edwards, and veterans George Teague and Darren Woodson are the safeties. There is Dexter Coakley, back in action after having missed the first game of his career last week with a sprained knee. Greasy to throw. Pulls it down, now goes down the sideline and overthrows everyone. Edwards covering Rod Smith on the far side of the field, and that'll bring the punting unit on.
Well, a couple things. The Denver offense, it will probably be a little more conservative today. Just like you said, Greg, missing Ed McCaffrey, got hurt the opening game. Rod Smith not at 100%. And Mike Shanahan said, look, we're going to be more patient with the running game and not put so much pressure on our quarterback.
Tom Ruin set to kick it away to Reggie Swinton, number 80. High floater that Swinton takes in at his 18. Nowhere to go. Falls forward to the 21-yard line. 50-yard punt and a 2-yard return, and the advent of the Dallas offense means quarterback Ryan Leaf, in his 4th season out of Washington State, has had 2 starts for the Cowboys, had a touchdown and an interception in the loss to Atlanta, and 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns last week against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to Ryan Leaf yesterday. I thought it was pretty neat. He was really excited because this is his first national game, and all players out there know when they get that first shot at it, they know all their friends across the country get a chance to watch them, and he was happy about it.
Movement up front. That looks like left guard Larry Allen. Our referee today is Tom White.
False start. Number 73 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So Larry Allen, who has gone to 6 straight Pro Bowls, does not prevent him from starting the Thanksgiving Day off early.
No, he wants to hit somebody quick. He knows he's trained on Thanksgiving Day to hit somebody down here.
Trying to duck outside and not getting there is Emmitt Smith. Bill Romanowski leads the 4-man charge of Denver defenders. That's a loss of 3.
Look at the Cowboy offensive line. They've been together. They have done an excellent job the last few weeks blocking for the run.
In the backfield, the future Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, along with up-and-coming Troy Hambrick, Rocket Ismail, and Joey Galloway are the wide receivers. Mike Lucky starts at tight end in place of the injured Jackie Harris. Dave Campo, in his 2nd season as the Dallas head coach, was really upbeat yesterday for a man who's 2-7 on the season. Leaf to throw for the first time today. Going to go deep down the sideline. Incomplete. The pass intended for number 81, Rocket Ismail, and Kenoy Kennedy was tracking him along the way. The Denver defensive front four: Pittman, Trevor Price, Chester McLaughlin, and Keith Washington.
The last couple weeks, the linebackers have been very active for the Denver Broncos in the run game, and especially blitzing the quarterback.
In the secondary, Delta O'Neal, 7 picks this year at one corner. Denard Walker is the other. Brown and Kennedy are the safeties. There is number 94, the former Dallas Cowboy Leon Lett, who made a name for himself Thanksgiving Day, 1993. From the shotgun, Leaf going to go deep down this sideline. It is incomplete as number 84, Joey Galloway, bumped into Eric Brown. Incidental contact does not produce the flag.
Well, Eric Brown was in better position to receive the football, and it's a good thing Galloway ran into him, stopped him from probably going up the field and making the interception.
So Micah Knorr comes in to kick it away, and Deltha O'Neal, whose 13.2 average ranks him 3rd in the National Football League in punt returns, stands at his own 37-yard line. O'Neal from the 38, splits the defenders, midfield, 45, with blockers, near sideline, and is tripped up inside the 20 and penalty marker slide. Jamal Brooks made the tackle, and let's check the flag. Cowboy players were indicating a clip. But players will do that, won't they?
Holding during the return, number 88 on Denver. It's a first down. The tackle on to the end of the play.
Well, that's Desmond Clark, number 88. We'll take our first time out. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And champions doing service around the world. Welcome back to Irving, Texas, everyone. The line of scrimmage is now the Dallas 38-yard line. 34-yard return to the 27 was moved back. And so it's first down for the Denver Broncos. Mike Shanahan had made the point to us his defense and special teams had been playing very well. On the blitz, Greasy gets rid of it. Complete out here to Gary. Gary inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. And a fine job by Brian Greasy getting rid of the football under the gun.
Well, it really is. A lot of people want to know, why is Brian Greasy throwing more interceptions this year? George Teague on the blitz. That's the biggest reason. 2 reasons. One, he's under much more pressure. They're trying to come from behind. But maybe the biggest reason of all, Greg, they're not running the football the way they did in the past. Makes it hard to deceive the defense when you don't run the football well.
That is Olandis Gary. And Gary limping on the sideline. Mike Anderson trots onto the field to replace him in the huddle.
Now, Olandis Gary getting the start. Last year, he had reconstructive surgery on his knee, and it's been over a year, Greg. I remember talking to him a couple weeks ago. He goes, it's never been 100%. I always feel like there's just something wrong with it.
Double tight end set up. Anderson gets the carry, and Anderson pulls his way inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. And so Mike Anderson, who, as we mentioned, has been starting since Terrell Davis went down with injury. And last night, Mike Shanahan told us he just wanted to start Olandis Gary to try to shake things up.
Change of pace, but let me tell you what. Be alert if you're a Dallas defender, because this guy's going to bring it today. And he had a look in his eye last night when we talked to him. Disappointed in himself. Of course, disappointed about not starting. I know he's going to run it up in there hard.
Anderson again puts his head down, trying to bull his way to about the 20-yard line, gets to the 21. Greg Ellis and Marcus Steele make the stop after a 3-yard gain at 2nd and 7.
Look at Olandis Gary in the sideline, but Greg, there's Terrell Davis standing next to him. Boy, the running backs are a lot of talent on the sideline for the Broncos. But going back to Mike Anderson, I asked him what's wrong with the Denver Broncos running game last night, and he only did one thing. He pointed a finger at himself. He goes, you know what? I got to make better decisions. I got to run harder. That's one of the problems with this run offense.
Greasy out here to Rod Smith, and Smith to the 15-yard line and close to a first down. He'll be about a yard short, and it'll be a 3rd and 1. Marcus Steele, the rookie linebacker out of Southern California and Denver's 4th-round pick, made the stop.
They saw that graphic. Yes, the Denver Broncos, they do rely on Rod Smith. Talking to Brian Greasy last night, I said something about Rod Smith. He looked at me and laughed. He says, yeah, I know I rely on him and look at him a lot, but who wouldn't if you had him out there?
3rd and 1. The give to Anderson. Anderson, first down to the 13-yard line.
Boy, that's just good running by Mike Anderson. The Cowboys actually win the battle at the line of scrimmage. Look at them get into the backfield. There's Woodson. Greg Ellis is up in there, but Mike Anderson breaks a little tackle and just really gets some tough couple of yards to keep the drive going.
And tough is right, Phil. The Dallas defense ranked number 7 overall in total defense. It was 19th last year. It has made strides. Greasy for Anderson. Anderson goes nowhere. Pepe Zellner, George Teague double-teamed him for a loss of 1.
I think Greg, you said some nice stats about the Cowboys defense. It's interesting. Usually coaches, there's Mike Zimmer, the defensive coordinator. You get players that fit your system. And Dave Campbell said, hey, we're doing it different. We got our players, and we're trying to fit a system to them. They've changed the way they played on defense, and it's really made them a lot more productive and not giving up many big plays.
5 wide receivers. Greasy throws. That's complete. A penalty marker is down. Rod Smith made the catch, and Mario Edwards all over him.
Boy, Mario Edwards looked like he knew what the play was going to be. He just hits Rod Smith too early. When originally I see it, I see the break. He's trying to go for the interception, just does not take a good angle. If he cuts in front of Rod Smith, he has a chance for the interception. Goes behind him, hits him too early.
Pass interference. Number 27 defense, early contact. It's a first down.
You know, the other thing I found interesting about the Cowboys defense, talking about what they do, you never hear coaches say this, and the players told us too, we rely on emotion. You know, Dave Campbell said it, hey, look, we're not that talented. You know, Darren Woodson said it too. We just go out there, we hustle, we're real emotional, and we hope that's good enough for us to have success.
First and goal for the Broncos just inside the 10-yard line. Anderson tries the left side, and he's hit hard by Marcus Steele. Marcus Steele at 6'3", 240 pounds, the rookie out of USC. And that's about 3 big hits already for him today.
We talked about this defense. Marcus Steele is really having an outstanding season too, Greg, and they know you play defense for the Cowboys. If you want to win the game, defense better be really, really good, because the offense is not going to score a lot of points.
On second and goal, Greasy with time throws, and that's complete to Dwayne Carswell, one of his tight ends, and he is just outside the 5-yard line. It'll be third and goal. Let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Greg, the update on Olandis Gary is described as a twisted left ankle. His return questionable, but just in watching it, it's a very painful high ankle sprain, so I would be surprised if he returns. Back to you.
All right, Armin, thanks.
High ankle sprain, that's one thing a coach doesn't want to hear. Rod Smith struggling to play with it. Kevin Casper, wide receiver, has been out for the Denver Broncos. Now another high sprain.
Greasy gives to Anderson, trying the left side, and is not going to be able to turn the corner. Terrific job done on the outside by both Darren Woodson and George Teague.
Oh, man, I just happened to look down on the sideline and watch the Denver coaches, see if he should take it inside. That's what they were thinking, but you know what? When they watch the film, they're going to say we were wrong. George Teague was in there to stop him, even if he cut it back up inside.
We saw questioning Gary Kubiak on the sideline.
Coach, the runner was right.
Jason Elam from 24 yards out. And the kick is good. So the Denver Broncos on the board first, 6:13 to play in the first quarter. 3-0 Denver.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 36. Saturn, now with 2 distinctively different car lines, the L Series and S Series. And by American Express, season's greetings.
Thanksgiving Day, and Olandis Gary is being carted off the field. He's being taken to the dressing room for x-rays, and any word that we get, we will be happy to pass along to you. A look at the Denver scoring drive, and Jason Elam kicks it away. Reggie Swinton returned 7 kickoffs last Sunday against the Philadelphia Eagles. He takes this one at the 3. 20. Leaps a couple of would-be tacklers to the 24-yard line. And with that, we'll take another timeout, and then Ryan Leaf will go back to work for Dallas. As we welcome you back to Dallas, first down, Cowboys. Ryan Leaf, quick drop, throws outside, and that's complete to Joey Galloway. Ryan Leaf, boy, you couldn't find a more highly touted quarterback coming out of college 4 years ago. And as you mentioned earlier today, Phil, things didn't work out either on or off the field in San Diego, nor did it happen for him in Tampa.
Yeah, but he seems relaxed down here. Couple things he knows. He knows he's going to be with the Cowboys next year. I think that eases his mind somewhat.
This is Hambrick. And Hambrick to about the 34-yard line.
And, you know, the biggest thing, Greg, is I think he's learned from his mistakes. Well, we'll find out if he's learned from his mistakes. And you got to know, you only get so many chances, too, in the National Football League. I don't care how big you are and how well you can throw it.
Well, you know, here's the other thing, too. He's stepping into a situation which has been a revolving door for the Dallas Cowboys, this quarterback position. 5 different quarterbacks this year. There's Quincy Carter, who they hope will be back next week. Movement up front. But these quarterbacks have been in and out, and the injuries have been hitting them. Here's Tom White.
Start. Number 86 offense. 5-yard penalty.
That's Mike Lucky, the tight end. But the quarterback situation, Quincy Carter, and then Anthony Wright, and then along came Clint Sterner, and now Ryan Leaf. And don't forget, Tony Banks was in the mix there early on as well.
Well, when you're playing on a football team that's not one of the top teams in the National Football League, then you're a young quarterback, your chances of getting beat up are really high. Because indecision will just bring on more punishment.
Leaf over the middle has his man at midfield, and that's Galloway. And Galloway inside the 45-yard line of the Denver Broncos. Delta O'Neal ran him out of bounds.
Well, Ryan Leaf, he told us yesterday, he goes, maybe this is my last start. I don't know. But one thing, he goes, I hope I get a chance to throw more on running downs. That means on first and second down, let me throw it down the field. And, of course, the wide receiver, he says, I got to look for and find ways to get the football to number 84 because he's really fast and good.
Now, we asked Mike Shanahan, does Ryan Leaf, the thought of him bother you? He said, hey, a year ago against us, meaning Denver, he threw 3 touchdown passes with San Diego. Leaf to throw again. Has time, throws a bullet to the 30-yard line, and that's complete to Rocket Ismail.
Well, I'll just say this. That's something he brings to the table a lot of guys can't bring. And he's not the quickest footed quarterback, but he's big, stands tall, look at him, and he just delivers the football over the defense into a small window to Rocket Ismail.
Now, Ryan Leaf has also been battling a wrist, which it's termed, it's a subluxation, that it just pops out of joint every once in a while.
He demonstrated it for us yesterday.
Oh, was that horrible?
It was pretty unbelievable.
First down, Dallas. Fakes the pitch, throws to the far side. Galloway is hauled down by John Mobley.
But just to finish it off about Ryan Leaf, Craig, his right wrist, his throwing wrist, does like pop in and out of the joint. And he demonstrated to us, and I go, wow. And he goes, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I know you'll get used. You know, it might look funny when I do it, but he goes, it does not affect the way I throw. And you can see they have it taped pretty tightly. That keeps it from popping out during the games. And he goes, if it does pop out, I just hit my thigh pad and it pops back in.
I said, that's that big of a deal to me. Don't do that in front of me ever again. 2:55 to play in the first. Timeout, Dallas.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Be you. Nothing's better. Dr. Pepper. And by IBM, taking e-business and your business to the next level.
As we welcome you back to Texas Stadium, Ryan Leaf was just 11 of 26 for 102 yards in the loss to the Eagles last week. 4 out of 4 on this drive.
He missed some open receivers, but remember, the Eagle defense, it's really good. They make it hard on all passes.
2nd and 11. Has time. Now over the middle and caught by Galloway inside the 20-yard line.
Now, you know, one thing that you'll see here, Ryan Leaf, he is a quarterback that's going to stand in there, and look how he looks around the field. He's going to look to his left, then he finally looks to the middle, and because of his size, because he is a big quarterback, he can stand in there and take the hits. And I'll tell you what I've noticed when I watch films and see him on TV. He throws a lot of interceptions just because of that, because he has that ability to stand in there and take the hit.
Quick pass out here to Galloway. Inside the 10, out of bounds close to the 5-yard line. That time, Denver had the blitz coming. Galloway was one-on-one out here on the corner.
I would be careful blitzing this team because, Greg, you and I were talking about it. When you just sit here in person and you watch Joey Galloway and Rocket Ismail run down the field, they are faster than everybody else. The blitz, they have the perfect call on. The quick screen to Galloway to the outside. Leaf gets it away before he gets hit.
The give this time is to Troy Hambrick, and Mobley is there to make the stop as we come up on 1:45 to play here in the first quarter.
I know the Denver Broncos, their defense, they were thinking, hey, let's pressure Ryan Leaf. You know, he struggled at times at quarterback. Let's get in there and do this. But as you watch this game, and my comment was, I told you, Greg, I said, there's Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator. I said, I don't know how much I'd pressure this offense because these wide receivers, I don't know if you can cover them down the field one-on-one.
Dallas fans come to their feet. 2nd and goal from the 5. Leaf on the roll, and throws it away as he was getting pressure from Al Wilson, the middle linebacker. It'll be 3rd and goal. Well, we asked Mike Shanahan that very thing. With a guy like Ryan Leaf, who is still trying to find his way, do you just sit back and wait for him to make mistakes, or do you try to pressure him? And he said, no, we're going to have to mix it up on him. And then, again, he referred to, we sat back a year ago, and he burned us for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's such a, you know, you never know what's going to happen in these games. You can have a thought, but you just got to react to what you see and make your judgments as the game goes along.
3rd and goal. And he is hit hard, loose football. The Broncos still bouncing around. And the Cowboys have the football. Troy Hambrick came back and picked it out amongst 4 or 5 Broncos.
Eric Brown, number 26, makes the hit from behind. Top of your screen. Play action fake. Comes free. And it looks like it's going to be picked up and run for a touchdown. Keith Washington, number 97, misses it. And good hustle by Hambrick.
Ryan Leaf tries to shake off the effects of that hit while the Cowboys are able to salvage a field goal attempt out of this. Perhaps. Here's Tom White.
Please reset the game clock to 47 seconds.
Well, Greg, the one thing that we noticed...
Please reset the game clock to 47 seconds. Thank you.
The one thing we noticed, just kind of getting ready for this game, is that Ryan Leaf in the last couple games, twice in each of those games, he gets these hits that come from nowhere. And a couple times when they come from his front side, you got to say the quarterback's fault. I'm not sure whose fault that was. If he thought Eric Brown was going to be picked up.
Possession on this play, therefore the clock should continue to run. It will start on the ready.
I'm going to wait a second here to make sure Tom's done.
I think we're going to get his whole family history before this day is over. Here's John Hilbert, who has been brought on while Tim Cedar recovers from a foot injury. This is from 43 yards out. And this kick is on its way. Looks good. Is good. 32 seconds to play here in the first quarter. And the Cowboys pull into a 3-3 tie.
Eric Brown's the second blitzer. Almost always, offenses cannot pick up a second blitzer. And when it's a safety, that is usually for the quarterback to look at and make the adjustment. So I would think Ryan Leaf has to see the safety when he comes up. When he blitzes, you've got to stop and throw it quick to the side that he's coming from.
We're tied at 3, 32 seconds to play here in the first quarter, and Knorr set to kick it away to Chris Cole, who is in his own end zone. Cole out to his own 6. 20, 25, and wrestled down at the 28-yard line. Lynn Scott, number 21, made the stop, and while we have a moment, we will remind you what the players and coaches wear. It will look like a butler. On Dion, it looks terrific. Mike Anderson behind Greasy. Greasy to throw. Under the gun, over the middle, has his man tight end Desmond Clark.
Brian Greasy just stood in there, free guy, free defensive lineman coming right in his face, still looks down the field and makes the throw.
And with that, we will run out of time here in the first quarter at Texas Stadium. Each team into the red zone. Each team comes away with a field goal. Denver and Dallas tied at 3. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We welcome you back to the happy crowd here at Texas Stadium as we start the second quarter. From their own 40-yard line, Greasy to throw. To the sideline, incomplete. And as Greasy picks himself off the ground, we check in with Armin Catane. Armin.
Greg, you mentioned Brian Greasy. He found himself in some controversy this week after that disappointing loss to Washington, where he questioned some of the talent around him offensively, which we understand led to a meeting with Coach Shanahan on Tuesday, where Mike offered the distinction between inexperience and talent, telling Brian that the younger players would not believe in themselves unless Brian believed in them. That's how Brian told us yesterday. Boy, I've been really encouraging this week. Back to you.
Yes, thank you, Armin. Quick pass over the middle, and that is incomplete, intended for Rod Smith.
Nice accurate throw by Brian Greasy. Rod Smith, look, you never see him drop the football. In all the games we've done, I've only seen him drop maybe one pass, but high ankle sprain, just struggling to get out there. It does take away your concentration.
Rod Smith has been struggling with this sprain for the last 2 weeks. He has started the last 2 games, didn't finish any of them, left those games early. Smith is flanked to the bottom of the screen, to the near side of the field, 3rd and 10. Greasy out here to Anderson. Anderson, 45, midfield, first down. During one of the timeouts, Phil, you and I took a look at the charts and realized, Mike Shanahan is down to 1 running back, and that's Mike Anderson.
And he's going to use him a lot today. Nice call by the Broncos. Set up to throw this quick to Mike Anderson. They're having trouble protecting Brian Greasy. He is taking big hits. And the thing you notice on this play, one thing that comes out in my mind, just the determination by Anderson.
Well, Mike Anderson told us last night what this team needs more than anything else is one of those big breakout ground games that the Broncos haven't had a chance to enjoy. Anderson again. To the 45.
Yeah, you talk about that, Greg, and we did a game a couple weeks ago, the Broncos against the Chargers, and we said to each other, where are the big plays in this passing game from this team? And if they don't run the football well, all their play action, giving the quarterback more time, throwing deep down the field, they're just no good. They don't work. And, of course, when you have Terrell Davis in the backfield, you fake to him, it brings the defense up. But you must run the football first to create big passing play opportunities.
Quick pass out here to Smith, and Smith inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. And, that running game all begins with that offensive line, and they've had their share of injury problems there, too. Lenny Friedman, usually the starting left guard, has had a knee problem. He's been replaced by Steve Herndon. The right tackle, Matt Lepsis, is playing despite a cyst on the cartilage of his right knee.
Yeah, they got some problems. I even said to Brian Greasy, we were talking about this last night to him, and I said, yeah, it takes you guys like 10 perfect plays to get down the score. And he goes, no, more like 12. So they can only get it in small chunks.
Anderson running room up the middle to the 30. And he'll be about a yard shy of a first down, a 9-yard pickup. John Nix, the rookie out of Southern Miss, made the stop.
Now this offensive line, they're doing a pretty good job so far. Good running behind it by Mike Anderson. Look how active the Cowboys line is, doing stunts up front. The Broncos still pick it up and make a hole for Anderson. And I think the offensive line, the short week, They got a little pep talk from one of their old offensive line coaches, Alex Gibbs, this week. Alex Gibbs, I should say, and they come out good here at the beginning of the game.
On 2nd and 1, Anderson gets nowhere, and Phil, the news just gets worse for the Denver Broncos. Word from the locker room, Olandis Gary with a fractured fibula.
Well, when they carted him off the field, Greg, you know it was not good news.
This is the play on which Olandis Gary suffered the fracture.
Hard to tell what exactly it was there. I mean, you couldn't see the injury happen.
Here's a 3rd and 2. Here comes the blitz. Greasy, quick pass, incomplete. Penalty marker is down. Matt Dominguez, the rookie out of Sam Houston State, dropped it. But now let's check the flag.
The one thing you'll see when we show a replay of this is Dominguez is falling away from the football.
Holding. Number 41, defense, the 5-yard penalty. It's an automatic first down.
Pat Dennis, the cornerback.
Just watch Dominguez to the left of your screen. I don't know if you'll be able to tell right here. But as he was going, trying to turn up the field just a little too quick, falling away from the football, makes it go a little lower when you fall away from it. And, of course, going to make it a much harder catch.
First down at the Dallas 27-yard line, thanks to the penalty.
First and 10, Denver at the Cowboys 30.
Dominguez was a tight end, moved to wide receiver because of all the injuries.
Under the gun, Greasy throws down the sideline. It is inside the 5-yard line. Is that a catch? It is. Rod Smith made the grab. And Greasy again gets off the turf.
Brian Greasy has taken about 5 big hits already in this game. He's going to pump to the outside. Evans, number 92, is going to get the hit on him. Oh. Nice adjustment by Rod Smith, and this is one of the reasons why you need him in the game. Of course, a lot of receivers can do that, but the rest of the receivers don't have the experience to play around the defender and come back to the football like Rod Smith does.
First and goal, Denver Broncos. Anderson straight up left side, near the goal line, and is brought down at about the 1. Michael Myers, the Cowboys, were unanimous in saying that one of their outstanding defensive performers this season has been that young man in his 4th season out of Alabama.
Yeah, Mike Myers is just physically, of course, he has that talent, Greg, maybe a little undersized to play inside in this league, but he survives on just constant hustle, moving, you know, just tough to block because of the activity that he shows on defense.
Double tight ends in the lineup. 2nd and goal. Mike Anderson. Touchdown. Or did I speak too soon? It is a touchdown.
No, you didn't speak. They just want to make sure he still has it when they run in there. That's why they delay in calling the touchdown, Greg.
I had no such qualms.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to teach you a little something. But again, that's interesting. Nick, number 60, not even blocked. And Mike Anderson runs into him, takes him into the end zone.
Jason Elam, an NFL record 333 consecutive point after touchdown. 334. So Mike Anderson, if there's going to be a ground game today, he's the man for the Denver Broncos. Denver leads it 10-3. Analysis and a recap of today's Green Bay-Detroit game and a live performance by the musical group Creed. It's all coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report. Reggie Swinton set to receive the kickoff. To the 15, the 20, across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and a little teaching courtesy of Coach Alex Gibbs on the Denver sideline.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Are you ready for a cold one? A diamond is forever. Show her how much you love her this Christmas. And by Walt Disney Pictures Monsters, Inc. in theaters now.
There's Ryan Leaf, who has completed 6 of his last 7 passing attempts. The rushing yardage heavily in favor of the Denver Broncos. Troy Hambrick goes in motion. The pitch to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt Smith is wrapped up. He didn't have a chance. John Mobley was in there in a hurry.
Well, you know, one of the keys to blitzing and stopping an offense is timing. And at the last second, just before the football was snapped, Mobley comes up, gets in position, and you can't block him. That's why Emmitt Smith loses yardage. Look at that. He just walked up. Nobody can react to that quick enough on the offense. Good play by John Mobley.
So a loss of 9 on the play, 2nd and 19. Emmitt with 2 carries for a -11 yards so far today. Leaf goes down, loses the football. Bouncing free, picked up by the Broncos, John Mobley, and Mobley is inside the 5.
Ian Gold, number 52. They put him back, or put him in the game in place of Bill Romanowski. He's got speed. He is just a playmaker. And he gets away from the block that time. Ryan Leaf just holds on to the football. Gold to the top of the screen, just overpowers Emmitt Smith, hits Ryan Leaf from behind and causes the fumble.
Oh, that is the second really tough hit that Leaf has taken in the last couple of minutes. And suddenly opportunity knocks again for Greasy and the Broncos. 1st and goal from the 4.
Well, this is a common scene for the Cowboys. Offense makes a mistake. Defense put in a tough position.
Greasy looks to the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Dwayne Carswell.
On the road on a short week, this is everything the Denver Broncos want. Turnovers by the Cowboys offense and a play they have run hundreds of times. Brian Greasy finds Carswell wide open in the back of the end zone.
Carswell, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Elam looks for number 335 in a row. The Denver Broncos score their 2nd touchdown in a 66-second span, and they now lead. And there is a penalty marker on the field.
You were just teasing the audience, Greg.
The extra point is good. Unnecessary roughness. Number 76 on Dallas. After the play is over, 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
That penalty is on Flozell Adams, and the enforcement and the kickoff upcoming after this.
Here's Dwayne Carswell in the touchdown catch. Watch him sneak to the back of the end zone. The fake, Tony Carter coming across, keeps the defense up after they've already been brought up by the play-action fake. They do not see Dwayne Carswell sneak behind them for the touchdown.
Reggie Swinton in his own end zone for the kickoff. Elam gets a lot of foot into this one. Swinton will not return. It'll be 1st down for the Cowboys from their cornmeal and muddy water.
Yeah, with some flies.
Yeah, with the flies. You see the turnover problems that the Dallas Cowboys have had.
Well, Greg, we talked about it already. Your team is not one of the elite teams. Your offensive line at times has struggled. You put young quarterbacks in. Not only that, they keep changing too. Indecision by the quarterback leads to holding it longer, and it causes fumbles and interceptions.
Emmitt Smith straight ahead. You saw that last graphic where the last 3 offensive plays prior to that play was a -22 yards for Dallas. There were 2 sacks, 2 fumbles, one of which they lost.
And they really done a couple good things so far today on offense. Got some receivers open down the field. Leaf, stood in there, made some good throws, and it looked like they were going to be able to block the Denver Broncos up front for the passing game. But again, when you watch the Cowboys, it's almost the same game every week. Turnovers puts them in trouble.
This is Michael Wiley. And Wiley twists his way just across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. A gain of about 2. It'll be 3rd and 4.
You know, you were right, though. We came down here, 2-7, the Dallas Cowboys are. We found them very upbeat, full of energy, enthusiasm. Dave Campo, he says, look, I know we're 2-7, but trust me, we're getting closer. He says, we're a quarterback away, getting our quarterback ready. We're a quarterback away from being, you know, a pretty good team already. And you can see when you watch them, they do have a lot of good players on both sides of the ball.
Little shovel pass that time. That was Joey Galloway.
Well, they try to bring him in, make the defense think that he is going to run the football, and watch his, then he's going to throw the shovel pass underneath. Defense never goes up the field to really attack Joey Galloway, and so the shovel pass is not there.
You know, I know you're looking for answers to your quarterback situation, but I don't believe that's it. Delta O'Neal standing back around his own 35-yard line for the anticipated kick. North boos it out of there. O'Neal lost the football and falls on it at his own 25-yard line. That'll stop the clock with 6:42 to play until halftime. Here comes Brian Greasy in the Denver offense. All of us here at CBS Sports to look at the numbers on both Brian Greasy and Ryan Leaf so far today. And Greasy brings his Broncos to the line, 25-yard line, 6:42 to play here in the first half. Greasy going to throw. Out to the side, Mike Anderson, and Anderson probably about a 1-yard game after all is said and done. And Brian Greasy, you know, we're talking about him taking a beating so far today, Phil. You remember what Dave Campo, the first thing he told us is his defensive youngsters are getting a little bit of an attitude.
Hey, and they're showing that attitude to Brian Greasy. Even though he's 8 of 11, or now 9 of 12, he has taken a lot of big hits. And if this Cowboy team down 17-3, they want to get back in the game, they got to start it with their defense. And when you keep hitting the quarterback, sooner or later, he's going to throw a ball that's offline. You're going to have a chance to intercept.
Anderson off right tackle. Out to about the 33-yard line where Det Nguyen, the middle linebacker, makes the stop after a 6-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
There's no question. The Broncos more determined on the offensive line, determined to run this football. And, Greg, we've had some laughs. We talked about Alex Gibbs. Now it's Rick Dennison, the offensive line coach. But Alex Gibbs is brought down here today to keep the inspiration going for these offensive linemen. And look at him. He is coaching it. He coaches wide receivers during the timeouts how to block defensive backs down the field to help the running game.
5 wide on 3rd and 2, coming deep. It is incomplete. Pass intended for the tight end, Dwayne Carswell, way down the field. And Dexter Coakley was right along with him.
He was right next to him. Dexter Coakley, what did we say yesterday? We were talking to him. He says, the thing I enjoy most is running down the field, covering tight ends or wide receivers. And this time it's a tight end. Dexter Coakley, good job. Turns around at the right time to look back the same time Desmond Clark did.
So the Cowboys come up with a stop here. Tom Ruin. Low kick. Swinton takes it the other way. And is buried at his own 32 or 33-yard line. Chris Cole, one of the men down there to hit him early on. Tomorrow night is Fun for All Friday on CBS, beginning with the network premiere of the Rugrats movie, including never-before-seen footage, followed by a major concert event featuring NSYNC with special guest Tim McGraw. Tomorrow night on CBS, Fun for All Friday.
All right. So much fun.
It'll be a spectacular night.
But you look at Denver, what are they doing today? Running the football, playing defense pretty well, and special teams. You said it, Greg. Mike Shanahan said, my special teams and defense have both been playing well of late.
Brian Leaf trying to get something started on offense to give to Emmitt Smith. Picks his way across the 35 out to the 38-yard line. Now, Emmitt Smith expressed a little frustration. He said, you know, when you don't get much done or when you fall behind early, you're a running back, and what do you find yourself doing? Standing on the sideline because we have to throw the ball to catch up.
Well, that's right, and that's Hey, that's the way it is on a team that's not doing well, Greg. And you know, quarterbacks get that same situation too. Offensive linemen, it makes it harder for them to protect the quarterback when the other team knows you're going to throw it.
Just 5 rushing yards total so far today. Emmett gets the ball again and is close to a first down at about the 42-yard line. But Chester McLaughlin, the tackle.
I'm sorry. This is good for this Cowboy offense. You know, they were losing, you know, faith in themselves. You could see it the last series they had this. So to come out and just run the football a couple times, get back in that rhythm, and now when you try a play-action pass, you'll be able to protect the quarterback and get it off.
Well, there you see Dave Campo, and he really felt that his guys had a chance to win this game because he says Denver comes off a must-win game to another must-win game. It's a short week. They're fighting injuries, and they have to travel. But they're up 2 touchdowns. Emmett Smith.
Yeah, but he forgot to mention one really, really important thing. You know, that Denver has an experienced quarterback that can play well under a lot of situations, and he's got a quarterback over on his side that's still trying to figure a lot of things out.
Boy, it was interesting. You saw Emmett Smith, and, you know, we've seen that over the years with Emmett. He's patient in the backfield till his line develops the blocking in front of him. And what did he say yesterday? Patience to the hole and then speed through the hole.
Sounds like a good remedy to get some good runs.
Short man is Hambrick, and Hambrick running for a first down inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line of the Denver Broncos. This is the young man that the Dallas Cowboys think is their running back of the future.
Boy, you heard a lot of good things about him, Greg, when you hang around the Dallas Cowboys in the fullback position. So few teams in the National Football League even give the football to the fullback, and I'm sure Denver hasn't seen many fullbacks run the football. So when you give it to them, it is a surprise to the defense. It catches them off guard, and Hambrick, excellent once he gets it into his hands, gets big yardage.
Leaf to throw. Has all kinds of time, and over the middle to the 40-yard line, hits Johnny Huggins out of the backfield. Huggins, a first-year man out of Alabama State.
So what happens? You get some good runs going. We saw a few good runs by the Cowboys, and Ryan Leaf had all the time and finally finds Huggins out open for a short game.
There's Troy Hambrick again. You know, he comes into this game averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
I don't know what he looks like on TV, but he's 255 pounds when he can run. He has quick feet, good feet.
That one goes nowhere, and that's Emmett Smith, and wrapped up by Trevor Price. And with that, we get the 2-minute warning here in Irving, Texas. 17-3, Broncos. We don't want you to forget, as if you could, the Nextel halftime report coming up. Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry. First half analysis, a recap of today's Green Bay-Detroit game, and a live musical performance by the group Creed, all coming up on the Nextel halftime report.
What were we talking about during the timeout? You know, I'm looking down, I just go, I swear, I played against the Broncos in these uniforms. I don't remember them being this bright. They are like fluorescent orange, and you can see a few of the players, they even have shoes to match.
Ooh. Michael Wiley is into the game as Leaf operates from the shotgun. Quick pass, tipped incomplete, off the fingertips of his intended receiver, Darren Shiverini.
But what the Broncos are really doing and making it tough for the Cowboy offense, they're timing their blitzes real well, and you don't know when they're coming. They play safe 4 or 5 plays, and all of a sudden the right situation comes up. They come after the quarterback, and they make Ryan Leaf throw off target.
That's Delta O'Neal back at his own 10-yard line. High floating kick. Bounces, and it's going to bounce into the end zone for the touchback. So Knorr did a good job of bouncing it at the 10-yard line. It's just that his cover guys couldn't corral it, and it goes into the end zone.
That was definitely an AstroTurf bounce. When it goes 20 yards in the air, you know you're on AstroTurf. But, Greg, when the game's over, I'm going to give you a vote today. We're going to give us an all-iron player, the guy that we think that makes a difference in the game. There's the trophy. It's pretty. It's big. It's heavy.
And lest any of our viewers forget the origins of this trophy.
Yes, the origin is that
my partner Phil Simms on game day irons his shirt.
No, everything.
In his hotel room.
My jacket, my pants, do it all. I'm versatile. I did it today.
Greasy, play fake, over the middle, has his man. That's complete to Desmond Clark. And Desmond Clark out to about the 48-yard line. Clock continues to move as we come up on a minute and a half to play, and now a timeout is called. Timeout on the field, 1:36 to play in the first half.
Make a play to get him back in the game, and what do you do to do that? You blitz the quarterback, you make him throw the football faster than he's used to. Here comes two blitzers. Teague, the safety linebacker comes. The throw is just off target. Rod Smith cannot come down with it. And that's a nice catch by Hawthorne.
Ball was thrown just a little behind Rod Smith. And Dave Campo says, well, that's maybe a start. Second interception of the season for Hawthorne. Leaf and the Cowboys now at the 36. Has time, throws it out here to Smith. Smith inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. And stopping the clock with a timeout now. The Cowboys use their second timeout of the first half. We're down to a minute 17 to play. We'll be right back. Brian Greasy's numbers as he contemplates that last pass, which was just behind Rod Smith.
And you got to think, Rod Smith, Greg, you know, it's just, hey, look, it was not an easy catch. But again, just the fact that he's been dealing with a high ankle sprain, it has to affect what he's doing out there.
Lee pulls it down, goes down. Keith Washington, his third sack of the season, in on the Dallas quarterback. And Leaf looks like he burns the third and final Cowboy timeout right here.
Well, you know, I know it's really exasperating to the coaches. You could see Dave Campbell so upset. Nothing Ryan Leaf can do. Nowhere to throw the football, and protection just breaks down too fast. Washington does a good job. Beats Solomon Page on the right side and gets the sack.
That's the third Denver sack of the day. A loss of 6, and the Cowboys are now looking at 3rd and 13. And when you've gone 5 straight games of allowing 3 or more sacks, your line isn't doing a very good job of protecting no matter who's quarterback.
That's right. It's, hey, look, I'm telling you, you look at quarterbacks, ones that throw a lot of interceptions, they're the quarterbacks that are behind and getting hit a lot. But what you would want for the Cowboys to do in a situation like this, they're on the 39-yard line. You just look to get 4 or 5 yards at least. So the worst thing that can happen to you in this situation, you want to get a field goal attempt out of it.
Cowboys trying to capitalize on the Hawthorne interception. They need the 26-yard line for a first down. Leaf with time, now over the middle, batted down. Leon Lett got a hand on it.
Ryan Leaf, tough situation again. I got a great view up here, much better than he has. Nobody open down the field. He tries to buy time, does a good job of shuffling. Then at the last second, he sees Lucky coming across the field, the tight end, knocked down by a defensive lineman.
So once again, O'Neal back at his own 10-yard line, and again, Noor will try to nail this one inside the 10. And now a timeout is called for by Denver. So they take their second timeout. And while we have a moment, we'll remind you, Sunday, the NFL on CBS dishes up a holiday doubleheader. Oh, look at the games on tap. Phil, Cordell Stewart and Jerome Bettis leading the Steelers against the Titans. The Dolphins try to bounce back against the Bills. Phil Armin and I will see the AFC West leading Raiders take on the defending NFC champion New York Giants. We ask you to check your local listings, beginning with the NFL Today. That's coming up Sunday on CBS. Brian Greasy, Gary Kubiak.
Both of these teams, Gary Kubiak, on the other side, it's Wade Wilson. Quarterback coaches, ex-NFL quarterbacks. What an advantage for these quarterbacks to have them as coaches.
Sky high from Noor, but this one is going to reach the end zone.
Well, when you look at this game so far, Greg, it's really what Mike Shanahan said to us last night. And, you know, we've done a lot of Denver games since he's been head coach, but I've never heard him phrase his team the way he did. Well, defense, special teams, run the football. Usually it's, well, we'll show him about 5,000 formations. We're going to get this guy open. It's all about his passing game usually and running the football, but, hey, they're having trouble protecting Brian Griese. The team has not been playing well, so you go back to the things that give you the best chance to win.
And Brian Griese takes a knee and will run some time off the clock. You figure he'll do that once more before the first half comes to an end. As that's Joey Galloway and Rocket Ismail on each side of Ryan Leaf as they try to discuss what can best be done in the second half.
Hey, they can come back. They've shown that they can get people open down the field. The Cowboy defense has been solid. They can pressure Denver's offense, especially the passing game, and they can still get more turnovers.
Another knee for Brian Griese, and that will do it for the first half as the teams head off to the locker room. Some boos coming down from the fans. They wanted and expected more from the Dallas offense. Wasn't forthcoming here in the first half. They managed just the field goal while the Broncos put 17 on the board. And let's check in with Armin Katayan.
Coach, with us such a young team, what kind of advice do you give them at halftime to help them in the second half?
Well, we're very fortunate to be right where we are, the way we're playing. We're not getting anything done offensively. We got to get something going. We got to make some plays, and we just got to hang in, play like we, just with a little more intensity in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you. Greg?
All right, Armin, our halftime score. Denver 17 and Dallas 3. Coming up, we'll send you off to Jim Nance for the Nextel halftime report. Jim, Mike, Randy, and Jerry will have first half analysis, a recap of today's Green Bay-Detroit game, a live performance by the musical group Creed. It all comes your way after these messages from your local station.